The positive would be what's still to come. The women's team has dropped down. The rest of the world has not caught up as much. But the men's team ascending and trying to ascend. And then I think about this summer. You think about then 2025, 2026, you have the Men's World Cup here, potentially the Women's World Cup here in 27, then you have Olympics in 28. So in five years, some of the biggest sporting events the world will ever see. The 2026 World Cup will be the biggest sporting event the world has ever seen, and may only be topped by what happens the next year with the Women's World Cup. And so that excitement right now is very unique in our lifetime. You lived it through 94, but for those of us who are younger, it's what's to come that's most exciting. And then, probably won't be greeted with open ears in this room. I think our lack of ability to develop high quality players is still the biggest problem in American soccer. And the biggest thing, and we could have a longer conversation, we could have a whole panel about this, is, and I'm gonna preach a little bit to everybody in here who's a coach. I know it's difficult because of the people above you and how they judge you, but until we stop worrying about winning soccer games at a young age and focus on the players getting better, we're not going to win a World Cup on the men's side. Period.
But I'll add on to it. I think the positive thing is, look, I think soccer in America is a popular sport. There's a lot of girls and boys that play. I think that it starts to kind of tailor off a little bit as they get older. I don't think that we should ever try to compete with the NFL or Major League Baseball. It's never going to be the type where it's in England, where it's pretty much the sport. So I think that there's avenues and ways to just continue that. And obviously, like Landon said, I mean, it's 4 years of soccer events, some of the biggest, and I think that just gains more momentum and popularity. I'd have to add to what Landon said about the negativity. I mean, I think that today's generation of kids are different. Parents are different. I think, in me running my clinics every so often throughout the year, I always say to the parents, it's not what you buy them, it's not what you provide them, it's not brand new cleats. I grew up with no soccer net at my house. I walked to Peter Vermees Field, that was a block away, got my balls, took shot after shot after shot, and it worked out okay. And so I think from the development stage, we aren't developing kids enough. I'm not embedded in the youth system, but I know when I played, there was one league. You weren't traveling a ton, you weren't hopping on a plane, you were playing within your area. And now you've got these ECNL teams where you're flying, you're on a roster of 18 players. From what people tell me, if you play one game on Saturday, then you can't play any minutes on Sunday. I don't understand how you're expected to get better. I don't also understand how you're expected to get better when you have 3-4 games you're playing on a weekend. I, for one, would not be excited to train all week and then play 3 or 4 games on a weekend. So that's a much, much bigger discussion. I think the whole thing needs to be restructured. I don't think kids do enough technical work, enough time with the ball when they're younger. We're focusing on winning too much. There's a whole lot of issues, and I don't know, maybe Landon and I can be part of helping to solve it at some point, but there's a lot that needs to change, and I think that we're kind of glossing over it, and it's not okay, because we have to empower these kids to want to practice on their own, to want to learn on their own. We can't just give them things and provide them things. You create your own environment, and I'm really a firm believer on, you could come from nothing, you could have nothing, and you can still make it.